In the hidden circuits of our most advanced technology, from the smartphones in our pockets to the satellites orbiting above, a silent but fierce competition is unfolding, one that most people never see, but that shapes the very foundation of modern life. A silent power struggle is underway not just in boardrooms or on battlefields but deep within the global supply chains that keep our world running. Rare earth elements, these obscure, often overlooked minerals, are the backbone of everything from smartphones and electric vehicles to wind turbines, precision-guided missiles, and the most advanced fighter jets. For decades, China has quietly and methodically built a near monopoly over these resources, investing heavily in mining, refining, and processing. This has made the West's defense infrastructure and much of its technology sector deeply dependent on a strategic rival. This is not just a matter of economics or trade. It's a critical vulnerability at the very heart of global power, with implications for national security, industry, and the balance of geopolitical influence. While Western nations offshored the dirty and environmentally challenging work of mining and refining, China saw a strategic opportunity and seized it, investing in infrastructure and technology while others looked away. As Deng Xiaoping famously declared, "The Middle East has oil, China has rare earths." This was not just a statement, it was a vision for the future, a blueprint for global influence. Today, that vision is reality. China's rare earth industry is a well-oiled machine, exporting to every corner of the globe and fueling the world's most advanced technologies. China now controls the vast majority of the global supply chain, from raw extraction to final processing, giving it a powerful lever in disputes with the US and Europe, one that can be pulled at any moment. As the West imposes tariffs and tech restrictions, Beijing signals it could restrict rare earth exports, a nightmare scenario for defense contractors and tech companies alike who rely on these materials for everything from guidance systems to advanced batteries. Without these minerals, production lines could halt, costs could soar, and entire industries could be brought to a standstill almost overnight. The West's technological edge, painstakingly built over decades, could quickly erode, leaving nations vulnerable and scrambling for alternatives. The question is no longer if China will use this advantage, but when and how. Every diplomatic standoff, every trade dispute brings the world closer to that tipping point. Policymakers and scientists are now racing to untangle a supply chain decades in the making, searching for new mines, developing recycling technologies, and investing in alternatives to reduce dependence on a single source. In the 21st century, true sovereignty means more than just borders or armies. It means controlling the resources that power your security, your economy, and your future. Rare earth elements aren't actually rare, they're just hard to mine and refine. This group of 17 metals like neodymium and dysprosium is essential for modern technology. The real challenge is the complex, polluting process of separating and purifying them. These elements are the vitamins of tech, used in tiny amounts but irreplaceable for their unique properties. Neodymium makes the world's strongest magnets, vital for electric vehicles, wind turbines, and hard drives. In defense, rare earths are mission-critical, enabling precision-guided munitions, advanced radar, and stealth technology. There are few viable substitutes, and redesigning systems would be costly and slow. China's control isn't just about price, it's about the power to disrupt entire technological ecosystems. China's dominance in rare earths is no accident. It's the result of a deliberate, decades-long strategy that has reshaped the global landscape for these critical minerals. Over the years, China has methodically built an industry that now sits at the heart of modern technology. Since the 1980s, China invested heavily in rare earth mining and processing, pouring billions into infrastructure, subsidizing production, and accepting environmental costs the West wouldn't tolerate. This willingness to bear the environmental burden gave China a significant edge, allowing it to outcompete other nations. By flooding the global market with cheap rare earths, China forced mines elsewhere to close, including the once dominant Mountain Pass mine in the United States. As Western producers shut down, China's grip on the market tightened. By 2010, China produced over 90% of the world's rare earths, making it the undisputed leader in both mining and processing. This dominance wasn't just about quantity, it was about controlling the entire supply chain. But the real chokehold is in refining. China controls nearly all capacity for the most critical types of rare earths, especially those used in high-tech applications like electric vehicles, wind turbines, and advanced electronics. Even when new mines open outside China, they often have no choice but to send their ore to China for processing, deepening global dependency and making it nearly impossible to bypass Chinese refineries. Building new refining facilities in the West is slow, expensive, and requires technical expertise that has largely been lost over decades of outsourcing. Regulatory hurdles and environmental concerns add further delays. In 2010, China halted rare earth shipments to Japan after a diplomatic dispute, shocking global markets and exposing just how fragile and centralized the supply chain had become. Prices soared overnight, and industries worldwide scrambled for alternatives. That incident was a wake-up call. China's rare earth dominance is not just economic leverage, but a potent geopolitical weapon that can be wielded at any moment. Only then did the West begin to realize the urgent need to diversify away from China, launching new initiatives and partnerships to secure alternative sources. Breaking this dependency is a monumental challenge, requiring not just investment but also innovation, collaboration, and a willingness to confront tough environmental and economic trade-offs. For now, the world is still playing catch-up, racing to build a more resilient and diversified rare earth supply chain before the next crisis hits. Rare earths have become a new and critical front in the escalating US-China trade and technology war. These minerals, essential for everything from smartphones to advanced weaponry, are now at the heart of a global power struggle. In 2023, China's Ministry of Commerce announced sweeping new export controls on rare earth technologies and products, sending shockwaves through international markets and governments. Exporters are now required to obtain special licenses for key magnetic materials, measures that directly target the defense and high-tech industries in the West, making it harder for them to secure vital components. This new legal framework injects a deep sense of uncertainty for Western firms. Shipments can be delayed, denied, or even canceled without warning, leaving companies scrambling to adapt and plan for the unknown. As a result, prices for rare earths are swinging wildly, lead times are stretching out, and defense manufacturers are facing unprecedented risks to their supply chains. The timing couldn't be worse. Defense industries are already under pressure from global supply chain disruptions, labor shortages, and surging demand for advanced military equipment. A rare earth squeeze could create bottlenecks across the board, threatening the production of everything from precision missiles to sophisticated radar systems and advanced electronics. China's message to the world is unmistakable. It is fully prepared to weaponize its dominance over the rare earth supply chain, using it as leverage in broader geopolitical disputes. By targeting the very building blocks of Western military and technological power, Beijing is striking at the core of its rivals' strategic capabilities, making the stakes higher than ever. This is a calculated move designed to inflict economic pain, disrupt industries, and send a clear warning that Western actions against China will have serious consequences. The rare earth chess match has now become central to the great power competition of our era, with each side maneuvering for advantage in a high-stakes game. The security of nations, the stability of industries, and the balance of global power all hang in the balance as this rare earth standoff intensifies. The West's most advanced weapons are built on rare earths. The F-35 fighter jet uses nearly 1,000 pounds of these materials in magnets, sensors, and stealth coatings. U.S. Navy submarines rely on rare earth magnets for quiet propulsion and advanced sonar. Precision-guided munitions like Tomahawk missiles depend on rare earths for their guidance systems. Without these elements, smart weapons become dumb bombs and military effectiveness plummets. The Pentagon calls rare earths a critical national security issue. Relying on a strategic competitor for these materials is a fundamental flaw. In future conflicts, the battle for dominance may be won or lost in the mines and refineries, not on the battlefield. China's export controls are part of a bigger, long-term strategy. Beijing wants to move up the value chain, becoming not just a supplier but the world's top manufacturer of advanced products. By controlling rare earths, China pressures foreign companies to move factories and R&D to its shores. This secures technology, jobs, and profits for China, while deepening global dependence. The strategy is rooted in history. After a century of humiliation, China is determined to never again be at the mercy of foreign powers. Rare earths are a pillar of China's ambition to become the world's leading technological and economic power. For the West, the challenge is not just finding new minerals, but competing with China's patient, state-driven vision. China's rare earth boom has come at a huge environmental cost. Mining and refining are toxic, contaminating soil and water with heavy metals and radioactive waste. In places like Baotou, vast toxic lakes have poisoned the land and communities. For every ton of rare earths, thousands of tons of toxic waste are produced. The West outsourced production partly to avoid this pollution. Now China faces pressure to clean up, raising costs and reducing competitiveness. For the West, cleaner mining and recycling offer a chance to build a greener, more secure supply chain. The future of rare earths may depend on who can produce them sustainably. The US and its allies are finally acting to break China's rare earth grip. The strategy: diversify supply, foster innovation, and build international partnerships. Governments are funding new mines and refineries, aiming for a complete mine-to-magnet supply chain outside China. The US is expanding the Mountain Pass mine and supporting new processing plants. Australia and Canada are ramping up too. Recycling rare earths from electronic waste is a growing focus, though scaling up remains a challenge. International alliances, like a Rare Earth Buyers Club, are forming to coordinate efforts and share resources. The goal: a resilient collective supply chain that can't be held hostage. Independence is still distant, but the race is on. The West's push for rare earth independence faces steep challenges. China spent decades building its dominance. The West is trying to catch up fast, but with stricter standards and higher costs. New mines and refineries take years to build, and investors are wary of China's ability to undercut prices. There's also a skills gap. Rare earth expertise has concentrated in China for decades. Training new talent and developing cleaner processing methods will take time. In the short term, the West will remain dependent on China, especially for the most critical heavy rare earths. The realistic goal is to reduce, not eliminate, dependency, enough to blunt the impact of a Chinese embargo. It's a race against time, and the West started far behind. The outcome will shape global security and technology for decades. The stakes are high and the world is watching. The rare earth battle is just beginning.